I never wore Nike shoes until I signed a Nike contract. All through college, we wore Converse. And up to that point, my favorite shoe was an Adidas shoe.
The Jordan brand is an absolute empire. In the 2024 fiscal year, it pulled in a staggering $6.6 billion in revenue for Nike. And Michael Jordan himself, he earns more from his Nike royalties every single year, reportedly over $250 million, than the roughly $94 million he made during his entire legendary NBA career. It's not even a debate. This is the most successful, most culturally significant athlete partnership in the history of sports. But what if I told you that this whole multi-billion-dollar dynasty was basically a desperate, last-ditch gamble? What if I told you it almost never happened? All because the guy they wanted to build it around, a rookie named Michael Jordan, didn't even want to meet with them?
How close did you come to losing Michael Jordan at Nike?
But since that first day, there was some sort of a connection that you can't explain. People make the idea this, it was like karma or something. I can't explain it to you.
See, back in 1984, Nike was a struggling running shoe company, and Michael Jordan was a die-hard Adidas fan. This is the story of how a $2.5 million bet on an unproven kid who loved another brand ended up changing the world. The underdogs. To really get the scale of Nike's bet, you have to picture the world in 1984. Today, Nike is a monster, a global behemoth with revenues over $51 billion. But back then, it was a totally different story. Nike ruled the running track, all thanks to Bill Bowerman's brilliant waffle sole shoes. But on the basketball court, they were a nobody, a distant third. The court belonged to two giants: Converse, the official shoe of the NBA and the choice of legends like Larry Bird and Magic Johnson, and Adidas, the cool European-style icon. Nike's basketball division was failing hard. They needed a game changer, something so radical it would completely shake things up. And one man, a brash and brilliant sports marketing exec named Sonny Vaccaro, thought he had the answer. His idea was completely unheard of, almost laughable at the time. Instead of signing 3 or 4 decent players, he told Nike to take its entire basketball marketing budget, all $2.5 million of it, and bet it all on one guy. And that guy was a 21-year-old rookie out of North Carolina, Michael Jordan. There was just one big problem. Michael Jordan wanted nothing to do with Nike.
Do you have a shoe company that you wanted to go with?
That was Adidas.
Michael didn't even want to be at Nike.
And my mother said, you're going to go listen. You may not like it, but you're going to go listen. Go into that meeting not wanting to be there. My father said, you got to be a fool for not taking this deal. This is the best deal.
Back then, the best guy.
Growing up, he was Adidas through and through. He loved their low-profile feel, their track-inspired look.
Oh my! That stuff's very impressive watching you do that.
Well, it's fun doing it.
Yeah, it looks like you're having fun.
I got one thing to say.
Yeah, what's that?
I see Adidas shoes.
Yeah.
So when his agent, David Falk, brought up Nike's interest, Jordan just blew it off. He didn't even want to take the meeting. His heart was set on a deal with Adidas, or maybe Converse, the brand of the established stars he was about to go up against. To him, Nike was just some running shoe company from Oregon. The gamble inside Nike, people thought Vaccaro's idea was insane. Bet the entire division on a single rookie who hadn't played one professional game?
Not just a financial bet, but you're betting your entire reputation.
It's that thing inside of an individual that just, it's not braggadocio. There's no course for spotting, excellence. There isn't. It's not a college guy where you take a test and, you get 90 out of 100 or you're a genius in that or something like that. This is something that happens instantaneous to a human being, okay? They see something, they like it.
It was a massive, reckless risk. But Sonny was relentless. He saw something in Jordan that went way beyond his athletic gifts. He saw a kind of charisma, a competitive fire that he knew could transcend the sport itself. He wasn't just pitching a basketball player, he was pitching an icon. But first, they had to just get Jordan in the room. That took a personal plea from his own parents, Dolores and James Jordan, who convinced him to at least get on the plane and hear Nike out. Reluctantly, Jordan flew to Nike's headquarters in Beaverton, Oregon. What he walked into wasn't your standard endorsement pitch. Nike wasn't just offering him some cash to wear their shoes. They were offering him his own kingdom. Led by Vaquero and marketing director Rob Strasser, the Nike team laid out a vision that no one in sports had ever seen before. They didn't just show him a shoe, they played a highlight reel of his college career set to the Pointer Sisters' Jump. They told him they would build an entire brand around him. The deal itself was revolutionary. A 5-year, $2.5 million contract, which was an astronomical figure for a rookie back then. But the real masterstroke, a detail his mother reportedly insisted on, was adding royalties. For the very first time, an athlete would get a cut of every single shoe sold with his name on it. They would call it Air Jordan. Even after that groundbreaking pitch, Jordan wasn't convinced. He actually took Nike's offer back to Adidas, his dream brand, basically giving them a chance to match it. But Adidas was a global giant that had gotten lazy. They weren't set up to build a brand around one person and just didn't see the point. They passed. So on the advice of his dad, who told him he'd be a fool to turn it down, Michael Jordan signed with Nike. The gamble was on. The phenomenon, Nike's designer, Peter Moore, got the job of creating the first Air Jordan. The shoe he came up with was just as bold and defiant as the player himself. It broke away from the boring, all-white sneakers that everyone wore in the NBA. The Air Jordan 1 was drenched in the aggressive black and red of the Chicago Bulls. And that colorway, it would turn out to be the greatest marketing gift Nike could have ever asked for. You see, the NBA had a rule that a player's shoes had to be at least 51% white. So when Jordan stepped onto the court in his black and red Jordans, the league office fired off a letter to Nike. The shoes were banned. Every time Jordan wore them in a game, he'd be hit with a $5,000 fine. For any other brand, this would have been a disaster. For Nike, it was a marketing miracle. They happily paid the fines. The story of the banned shoe created this perfect narrative of rebellion and individuality. It was pure gold. Nike rushed out one of the most iconic commercials ever made.
On September 15th, Nike created a revolutionary new basketball shoe. On October 18th, the NBA threw them out of the game. Fortunately, the NBA can't stop you from wearing them. Air Jordans from Nike.
It just showed a basketball dribbling with black bars over Jordan's feet as a voice said, on October 15th, Nike created a revolutionary new basketball shoe. On October 18th, the NBA threw them out of the game. Fortunately, the NBA can't stop you from wearing them. The shoe instantly became a symbol of counterculture cool. The hype was unbelievable. Nike's initial sales goal was to sell $3 million worth of Air Jordans in the first 3 years. They blew past that in just a few months. In its first year, the Air Jordan line hauled in an astonishing $126 million. Of course, Jordan's performance on the court was the ultimate rocket fuel. He won Rookie of the Year, was an instant all-star, and just mesmerized the world with his acrobatic dunks and ferocious drive. Kids everywhere didn't just want the shoes. They thought the shoes could help them be like Mike. The gamble hadn't just paid off. It had sparked a cultural phenomenon, the legacy. The insane success of the Air Jordan 1 didn't just save Nike's basketball division, it completely transformed the entire company and changed the face of sports marketing forever. The deal became the blueprint for modern athlete endorsements, shifting power from teams to individual superstars and creating the whole idea of signature product lines with royalties. The partnership got so huge that in 1997, Nike actually spun off the Jordan brand into its own subsidiary. A brand within a brand that now sells everything from high-performance basketball gear to high fashion. It's expanded into golf, football, and done collaborations with artists and luxury designers, all without losing its core identity. Today, the numbers are almost hard to wrap your head around. That initial $2.5 million bet grew into a brand that generates billions a year. Michael Jordan's personal take from Nike royalties is estimated to be over $250 million in a single year, more than double the $94 million he earned in salary across his entire NBA career. The deal made Michael Jordan a billionaire and cemented Nike's status as the undisputed king of sportswear. The story of Nike and Michael Jordan is so much more than a business case study. It's a lesson in having a vision, taking a huge risk, and finding the absolute perfect partner. It's the story of a shoe company that was on the ropes, a marketing guy who wouldn't take no for an answer, and a reluctant rookie who became the greatest of all time. It all started with a desperate bet, a pitch that seemed way too good to be true, and a player who almost walked away. And from that one single moment of conviction, an empire was born. An empire built not just on leather and rubber, but on the unstoppable power of a name, Air Jordan. If you enjoyed this story about how one of the world's biggest brands came to be, make sure you subscribe for more deep dives into the history of business and culture. Thanks for watching.